And looks like we're off.
Looks like everybody, Troupster opting to go Sanctuary, Pokedude, and everybody else opting to do Link's House at the start. I think we're going to see Troupster go for the Houlihan Strat at first. Houlihan Strat's going to guarantee you 225 rupees right off the start, which is good in Keysanity because your money drops are not going to be quite as prevalent. Not nearly as likely to get them.
Yeah, it's a good way to get the bombs and the bottle when they're early. And the tree pull from TRANQ was some single bombs, so that's good as well.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge find early on because, again, you don't want to have to be starving for bombs going into Kakariko. You want at least 3 bombs going in that way. And a lot of runners, if they don't get a good Tier 1 tree pull like that, sometimes they'll opt to go the southern route into Kakariko because you can guarantee at least 1 bomb out of those bushes. Was that a big key to Desert Palace off Uncle?
It was a big key for Eastern, I think.
All right, so we got the big key action already. Songleaves going to check it for us. Yep, Eastern Palace.
And that makes the dip into Eastern even more interesting early on.
Oh, yes, because suddenly you can check 4 locations, 5 if you're comfortable with that dark room spread. So, yeah, that's going to make EP an even more attractive early option.
Yeah, and it looks like TRANQ is going for that Lumberjack right away.
Well, that intel is very good to have early on. He's also going to get another Tier 1 tree pull, so he's going to be very nice on bombs going up here. Let's see what Bush Crab has tonight. Bush Crab, just arrows, not quite so helpful, but you never know. That sometimes can come in handy, especially if you find an early bow.
Yeah, an early bow now would be... Oh, it's a big key on Lumberjack.
Oh, boy.
Looks like we might have an Agassiz after all.
We very well might, although it could be a Swamp Palace big key or it could be a Skull Woods big key. Those are a little less valuable than the other ones because, like in Swamp Palace, you don't need the big key to get to Argus.
And a fire rod in the Lost Woods.
Oh, good to have that early. That gives them a pretty good weapon starting out. They'll need some magic for it, but yes, very good to have.
Yeah, and it can also make the dark rooms easier if you aren't comfortable doing them without any source of fire.
You're absolutely right. Having that fire source is going to be good, especially if they go like up to Tower of Hera. They'll need that to unlock whatever's in the basement. And in chat for Chico Bitcoin Joe, feel free, if you've got any questions, put them in chat. Chat's always very good at answering, or, myself, my co-commentator here, we love to answer chat questions. We love it when you guys are interactive, so feel free to ask. And that goes for everybody out there. Just put them in there. We are more than happy to answer them if we can.
So TRANQ is the first one making it into Kakariko. Gonna see what we get in Blind's Hut here. And it's the hook shot.
Oh, that early hook shot, that might be steering us toward that
as well.
And a flute, you're right. And a lamp! Oh, wow. No! This could be an Agassiz. They find 2 sword upgrades, or if they find a sword and a cape, yep.
Oh, and the boots as well.
Wow! Wow! Boy, Blind, he must have done really well in his former life as a thief, because, wow, that's some value right there. That is nuts. Now, remember, for the Agassiz, they're going to have to find 2 Castle Tower keys if they want to do Aghanim pretty early. So they have to keep an eye out for those. But, man, we've already got the potential makings of one.
Yeah, and if you want to be really hoping for something trolley, that would be getting both Castle Tower keys in Ganon's Tower and the Ganon's Tower big key on Lumberjack.
Oh god, that would be horrible. But fun to watch.
Yeah, we know that chat loves those Ganon Tower double dips.
Looks like, of course, we're going to get an early flute unlock because we found the flute super early. Looks like Bottle Vendor had a Misery Mire big key. Big keys are going to be very important to find for most of the dungeons because you'll need them to get to the boss at the end. Some of the exceptions are Skull Woods, Swamp Palace is one. Ice Palace is kind of odd in that if you do the Ice Palace bomb jump, you don't necessarily need the big key, but it can get a little funny. Some of them you need them, some of them you don't. Let's see what the chicken house has tonight. Oh, just a small key to Ganon's tower. Sort of useful, but not as useful as you might think.
Yeah, and with this early bottle, I can check the sick kid, and wow,
Mirror!
rewarded with a mirror.
Wow! I mean, good lord. Look at all the stuff we're finding early. I mean, wow. They are finding so much stuff. As soon as they find lift upgrade, Death Mountain's looking like a pretty good play.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting that this is Keysanity, but they haven't found too many keys yet.
Oh, we got plenty of action to go. Don't you worry about that. TRANQ finding one in the library, that's going to be... I missed the text.
Yeah, me too. But I guess we're going to see it soon again.
Also, something worth noting, since we found that bottle in the bottom of the well, getting that sick kid check early is going to be very nice to have, not something you have to route backwards. And with having the mirror on sick kid, that's huge. That's a great find.
Yeah, with that mirror, there's no need for death warps in the Hyrule Castle today.
Not at all. Songleaves going to give us another chance to see what this key was. It looks like Dark Palace. Okay, so Palace of Darkness keys. That's a good one to find early. Something in Keysanity, Palace of Darkness tends to have a little bit more finesse to it than in others, because there are 6 pod keys in total. Now, if you know how to route properly in the dungeon, and if you know how to hammer yump, which is a trick that you use using bombs to get to the big key chest without burning a key, you can actually do pod with as little as 4 small keys. It end up being a huge time save.
Yeah, that's one of those more tricky dungeons for sure with the small keys.
Hey, there's your Desert Palace big key. Looks like we might see a desert play.
Yeah, we just need a... actually, we only need the power gloves to be able to finish it now.
Yep.
Oh, no, they can't enter it.
Yes, they can actually, because remember with the flute, they can actually flute to 6. Now, oh wait, but they will need another lift upgrade. You're right.
Yeah, they will actually need 2 lift upgrades to do that.
However, you find a book that can become a very attractive play. Now, TRANQ going to show us what's in Mini Moldorm. Let's see here. Having a little bit of trouble here, but that hook shot, you don't have to worry about using bombs, because that hook shot kills those Mini Moldorms in 1 shot. Didn't look like he found any hot containers or anything like that. TRANQ will have to be a little bit careful here because he's only got 1 heart and he's got green mail, so those crabs are going to be out for blood if he's not careful.
Yeah, and it seems like he decided to go to the desert instead.
That'll be good to check the ledge.
Yeah, small key on the ledge. That could be valuable.
Be absolutely valuable. Meanwhile, we got Troupster heading up Death Mountain.
Yeah, and got
There's your mitts.
Yeah, actually, didn't even think about it, but with the flute, you could just go up to Death Mountain right away.
Actually, yep, you're absolutely right. I mean, we might yet find Titan's mitts, but yeah, flute absolutely puts Death Mountain in logic. Finding an ether as well.
Both TRANQ and Song picked up the Kena Samaria. I guess that was in the Mini Moldorm cave.
I think silvers were in Mini Moldorm. So as soon as we find a bow, that'll be a great weapon for our runners to have. Because now, bear in mind, we still don't have a sword. Let's see, Dark Palace small key. That brings us up to 2 pod keys. Just need 2 more, and we'll have the minimum amount that we're required to have.
Yeah, for sure. As long as they found the hammer and the bow as well.
Now, it looks like Song had just gotten in and checked Ice Rock Cave. Now, I did not see what was in there.
It was just a 5 arrow upgrade.
Interesting.
And Song decides to do an early fake flipper, seeing the quake on the Lake Hylia Island and going over to Hobo.
Yep, Troupster are going to be finding a big key in the room in Hera. That's going to be the Ice Palace big key. Not strictly needed to complete that dungeon, but it is nice to have, too, because you can check that big chest.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Songleaves took damage while fake flippering, and any damage taken while doing that is going to be an instant death.
Yep, you are absolutely right. It makes that trick a little bit dangerous to pull off. Troops are going to be jumping off here and heading off to the right side of Death Mountain. Meanwhile, TRANQ is going to be checking the back half of Escape. And we're going to have just a compass, which compasses are kind of useless. I say kind of. But getting a heart container and bumping him up to 5, he'll be glad he had that.
Yeah, so the compasses shows how many locations there are in every dungeon to find items, and checks them off as you get them. So I don't think any of our runners need that, but it's pretty good for new players.
Or if you're doing a casual run over multiple days, it kind of helps you keep track of what locations perhaps you've checked and what you haven't, just by going off the numbers.
Yeah.
But in a race setting like this, not terribly helpful. Looks like we got a small shield. Not sure what the other items were. Oh, there's a bottle of blue goo. Flippers, there we go. And another bottle, so 2 bottles in here. And the second chest was a moon pearl. That's super important.
Oh yeah, that's a big find.
Oh yes. We still don't quite yet have Dark World access. We either need another lift upgrade or we need to find a hammer. Chat bringing up an interesting idea. Once we find the second lift upgrade, Ice Palace looking like a pretty juicy early dip.
Yeah, that's that could be that for sure. And if they happen to find the hammer as well, they could actually full clear it.
Troops are going to have to be kind of careful here. These dead rocks don't like to play around. Looks like Songleaves taking a death here. Don't think that was intentional. So that's a little unfortunate to take one in that spot.
Yeah, early game can be pretty risky sometimes. With they haven't got too many hearts yet.
Yeah, I mean, our TRANQ has more than anybody with 5 heart containers. Everybody else is working with 4 and green males. So yeah, this is it's pretty rough so far. Troops are finding a red boomerang at the bottom of Spiral Cave. That's kind of nice to have. One thing he'll be glad at having that once he gets to Skull Woods. That is the one thing that will stun a Gibdo. And those mummies give 2 hearts of damage when they hug you.
Yeah, when you have only green mail, then that boomerang can be pretty useful.
Oh. Now, none of our runners have gone over to Eastern yet, have they?
No, it doesn't look like it. But we're gonna see a Bonk Rocks check here, but only a big 20.
Well, money's still pretty important to have. I mean, they haven't checked Zora yet or any of that, so still a lot of things they'll need to spend money on.
Yeah, and speaking of Sora, it's gonna be interesting to see if those flippers leads to anything important.
Well, that puts the 2 chests in Waterfall Cave. Suddenly those are in Logic now.
Yeah, and Hobo as well.
Yep. So let's see here. We've got Troupster respawning in his house. I believe he is going to make the Eastern play right now. I think he's run out of just about everything else. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where Troupster decides to go.
Has Troupster checked Desert yet?
I don't think so, and oh, didn't Troupster check the dam either?
Maybe not. Nope, he hasn't. He'll find his Desert Palace big key and a few other goodies on that side of the map. But it looks like everybody's going to be putting off Eastern for a little while.
Yeah, I mean that big key could actually scare you away from Eastern, because now you're just looking for the bow to be able to full clear it.
Right. It comes back to it. You don't want to dip that place more times than you have to. But, you know, you still haven't checked the 3 chests in Sahasrah's closet. Bow could be there. Looks like TRANQ is going to be heading to do the front half of Escape, and I don't think any of our boys have checked there yet either.
Yeah, I think TRANQ is the first one to enter the castle from the front side.
Be interesting to see what's in there. And now Songleaves is peeling off to go to Eastern, so we're going to get quite a bit of fresh intel here for you folks. TRANQ making use. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it looks like Song decides to check out the flipper locations instead.
That's pretty smart thinking on his part. TRANQ, meanwhile, using that green potion, charging up the magic so he can use that fire rod, that will one-shot everything in Escape, including the Mace Knight at the very end. So, pretty good use of that potion.
Yep. So nothing too important from the hobo, only a little piece of a heart, but oh, the Ether Medallion was in Agnes Cave. I missed that before.
Yep, Ether Medallion, we have 1 of 3, and Ether could very well lock both of them. Or lock both Mire and Turtle Rock, rather. Looks like Song is going to opt to go through the Whirlpool here, so he will also be the first to check Zora's domain.
Yeah, and hopefully Song finds some money here, or if he doesn't, hopefully Zora doesn't have anything important today.
That can sometimes be a dangerous gambit to make. Oh, 13 rupees short. Well, we will see what the stun prize is going to be today.
Oh, that's a good 20... stun prize.
Wow, that's a great stun prize. That is an awesome stun prize, and very lucky indeed for Songleaves. Now he's got enough to pay the Kingfish. And there'll be a small key on the Zora ledge, so yep, he's going to route both of these locations in. Looks like Zora having just some love, but some love will go a long way in this scene. I mean, that puts Song up to 5 hearts. Again, not a terribly healthy seed to start with. Our guys are having to be kind of careful.
Yeah, and they're still swordless as well, so...
It looks like TRANQ booted to 5. I guess he saw something he didn't like. He's coming back this way. Wait, no, he has the hammer. Where did he pick up the hammer?
I am not sure. I must have missed that.
I must have too.
It must have been in the front of Escape, right?
Actually, yeah, it could have been in Zelda's chest. Chat, help us out. Did he find the hammer there?
That's hammer in sewers, it seems like. Because sewers are in Dodric with that lamp.
Oh, the dark chest in Escape. Yep, that's huge. There's your progression right there. That is very huge. And TRANQ finding our first sword about 21 minutes in. That's going to be in Hype Cave. Song, meanwhile, heading over to Sahashala. Sarahara Boom Boom.
Yeah, and it looks like Ice Palace is her green pendant.
Gonna be very good information to have, and still gonna probably want to dip that place at some point. Full heart, Turtle Rock small key, and just 20 bucks in the back of the closet. But, you know, 3 pretty good items nonetheless. So that means, unless our guys can find the other lift upgrade in Eastern, looks like Dark Chest and Sewers, that's the play to make. Because there's your Dark World access.
Yeah, and TRANQ getting the Dark World access this early can actually route in some of these overworld locations a bit easier with both the Dark World access and the mirror.
Absolutely. You got Cave 45 you can check. You've got a lot of places you can go suddenly.
Yeah, and that would also mean that when they decide to go to Pod, they can check Eastern and Pod at the same time, which is always nice to do.
Now, Miyati in chat pointing out that it is possible to dip the first chest in Swamp Palace with... we have everything we need. We could absolutely do that first chest in Swamp. That'd be a bit of a gamble, but it absolutely is in logic right now.
Yeah, that first chest has been known to have progression sometimes, so...
Well, it wasn't too far long ago in logic that the Swamp Palace small key actually had a very high occurrence of being there. It was a bit of a statistical anomaly. But yeah, used to see it a lot there. Song finding a compass to Thieves Town in Eastern Palace. Troupster picking up his 7th heart. Gonna be glad to have that extra HP. So with this major route divergence, what I'm looking at Song's screen, I'm looking at TRANQ's screen, because Song is showing us more of Eastern Palace, and TRANQ is about to show us Village of Outcasts. So again, we've got a lot of fresh intel coming your way.
Yeah, and both are definitely good plays.
Now,
a small key in Eastern for Pod.
I'm a little surprised that TRANQ is not making that trip up into Skullwoods. He doesn't have the big key, but with the fire rod and a fighter sword, he can complete that place.
Yeah,
oh,
and
there's your
wow,
mitt.
There's the Titan mitts.
Chess game, Titan's mitt.
But so checking the village first is kind of a play that I like, because I'm not always comfortable with fighting Mothula early with green mail and not too many hearts. So if you can find something to make that fight easier in Village of Outcast, that's pretty good too.
I can definitely see the logic there, but bear in mind, TRANQ does have 3 bottles, so he does have a fair amount of safeties here, but, you know, he could absolutely find something of value here in Village of Outcasts. I missed, what was in the Bummable Hut?
I couldn't really catch that.
Well, we'll catch it on the restream here in just a minute. Looks like it was just bombs. TRANQ, meanwhile, going to be picking up the frog. He has everything he needs to be able to turn this check in. Also, he can check Peg Cave while he's over here. So again, making very good use of overworld routing. And, you know, again, with 6 hearts, I can see the wisdom in getting safeties. You know, that you do make a very good point from earlier.
Yeah, and with those Titan Smiths picked up, almost the whole map is open for our players. Or at least for TRANQ, but soon for the other players as well.
So now, what do you think, now that we know where mitts are, what do you think our next big progression item is going to be?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to call because there's so much to check, but they have already gotten 4 keys to the pod collectively, so that's kind of an hint to maybe go over there. If you find 3 keys at least, I think that's a pretty decent play to do.
Well, and TRANQ also found the cape at the Smiths, so that also brings Bumper Cave into logic.
But yeah, as well as the first chest in Aga Tower as well.
Mm-hmm. He's going to turn in purple chest right now. Let's see what we've got. Oh, it's a small key to Thieves Town. That's actually a very good one to have.
Yeah, that's very nice to have before going into Thieves Town.
Well, you certainly don't want to, you know, miss that big chest room and there be something important in there. Troupster going to be making his way to the sewers. He's going to be finding his hammer before much longer. Going to be the second player to find hammer.
Yeah, he's not going to be disappointed by that.
Not at all. I'll be interested to see what TRANQ does for routing here, because he can go check Bumper Cave. He can check Thieves Town, but I don't think he has the big key yet, so I don't think he can check more than the first 4 chests. Looks like he's either going to be going to Skull Woods or going to be checking that Bumper Cave location.
Yeah, Bumper Cave makes sense. Could also do the Graveyard Ledge and the King's Tomb as well.
Yep, he has a lift upgrade. He can absolutely do both. Bumper Cave only has big 20, so not terribly helpful there, but he's going to go over here and check these other locations while he's at it. Meanwhile, Songleaves is going to be getting ready to go into the sewers, and he'll find his hammer before much longer.
Yeah, the hammer is one of those items that's always going to be required, no matter what.
Yep, gotta have it. Small key on Graveyard Ledge, and that's going to be Ganon's Tower. Not terribly helpful.
Yeah, the only way that's going to be important is if they have to double dip it or get something in the basement, that is.
Yep, that's the only time that those Ganon's Tower keys are going to come into play. Other than that, you really just need 1 for your tower climb. At least I think it's 1.
You can actually do it, but you don't have to find any small keys, because you can steal 1 from the basement and then get 1 more from the... Well,
yep, you're absolutely right.
And it looks like TRANQ might be going for an catfish here.
Let's see, and has TRANQ checked Zora yet? I want to say no, because just based on his rupee count, but I
don't think TRANQ has checked either Zora or any of those Flippers locked locations.
So it looks like TRANQ is opting to do as many overworld locations as he can before starting to dive into dungeons. And given how stingy the seat has been on health and safeties, with the exception of the bottles, I can see the value in this play.
Yeah, and checking the overworld with the mirror and the boots, that's actually a pretty fast way of doing it.
Yep. Unfortunately, Catfish, not terribly helpful, just $20.
And the pokedude is going into the Eastern Palace looking for that Dark World access.
Unfortunately, it's going to be a little closer to the castle, but he'll make his way around there.
And Troupster is going for that Quake medallion on the Lake Hylia. That could be very important.
Well, now we... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Songleaves picked up the Power Glove, so has Dark World access now.
Yep, and he'll start routing his checks in before too much longer. Troupster actually sitting on 10 hearts right now, sitting on quite a bit of health, so he's got to be feeling pretty confident going into Dark World here. Also going to be checking Pyramid location for us to see what we've got there. And only $20.
So if our runners find the 2 small keys to the castle tower, do you think they will make an early play for Aghanim, taking that gamble?
I really don't know. I mean, with the cape, the first chest is actually in logic right now, but I don't know. Looks like Misery, Mire, and Eastern are going to be our red crystals today. So Mire and Eastern, that's what's going to unlock our Fat Fairy check eventually.
Yeah, and that's a little bit more helpful with the big key count, because they had both big keys to those dungeons.
Boy, TRANQ is making just every overworld check he can. He's actually going to the shed in Mire, finding a bottle and a quiver upgrade. So now we know where all 4 bottles are. He's going to have plenty of safeties. And let's see, we have Skull Woods is a crystal, Turtle Rock is a crystal, Swamp is a pendant, red pendant. So taking some good notes off that map check there.
Yeah, information is definitely important in this tournament mode.
Well, and remember, when you find the map for a dungeon, it tells you if it's a pendant or a crystal. So it's going to help you route all of that in. And look at this. TRANQ finding the net in Checkerboard Cave with all of his bottles. As soon as he finds powder, he's going to be sitting pretty nice on safeties.
Yeah, having 4 bottles, that's a pretty good pickup.
I wonder if he's going to opt to go ahead and do Desert while it's on his mind. I'm going to grab this small key, Turtle Rock small key. Yep, he's going to go ahead and do Desert.
Yeah, I mean, why not? While he's still here, so.
Oh, he's in the area. Does he have the small key for Desert?
I don't think anyone has found the small key yet, but that might be it.
That very well could be it. No, Ice Palace.
And Troupster is going into pod.
Now, this is very interesting because he has 3 He's got, yeah, 3 small keys. He can check quite a bit of it, but he doesn't have the bow yet. So this is a little bit strange. Also, with him opening that front door, unfortunately, unless he knows how to hammer jump, he is going to need all 6 keys to clear this. More than likely. Troop had 4 small keys. Okay, so he was doing pretty good. And there's his powder, so that's where our safety's going to be. So, but if Troupster knows how to hammer jump, he will be able to do this with 5 keys. He'll still have 1 key he needs to find, but he can do it with 5, provided he knows that hammer jump trick.
Yeah, but it looks like Pod is a pendant, so it's not definitely required to beat the Helmosaur. It could be, but we don't know yet.
Oh, is it a pendant?
At least on it looks like it's the green pendant on Troupster's track.
Oh, wait, that's right, yeah, because Sahashua told us. Songleaves found the Skull Woods big key actually in Skull Woods. So found it in its more or less vanilla location.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. So you don't have to come back for that big key, that big chest lever.
Yep, route it all at one time. And it looks like TRANQ opting to use Fire Rod strats on Landmolas.
Yeah, 2 hits with the Fire Rod and they go down.
Looks like he might have run out of magic, so he's going to have to use the Fighter Sword to finish him off. But, again, that's not too bad. And unfortunately, I am missing all of these items in Pod, except for that Turtle Rock Big Key. Did manage to catch that one.
Yeah, and I think that's the only really big found we have in Pod so far, except for the powder.
Well, again, the powder will unlock the bat for checking, so if bat has progression or an item necessary for go mode, it'll be good to have that.
Yeah, and Troupster is going for that hammer jump.
Well, let's see if he gets it. Songleaves, meanwhile, looks like he's going to be making a full clear of Skull Woods, and I like this play. Again, you have the tools to do it. I think clearing it's a very good idea.
Yeah, and that cane just makes that room so much easier.
Oh, yes. And then don't forget, you've got the full decanter on the right side of this room here.
Oh, a Master Sword in Skull Woods.
So even if you didn't go to Hype Cave first, you'd find a sword as part of the natural flow of the dungeon. Yep, Skull Woods clearable. I think this is a very good play.
Yeah, sword in Skull Woods and Fire Rod in the Lost Woods.
It's almost like the seed's trying to tell us something. So Song's going to be heading to the back of Skull Woods now. You have to be kind of careful, though. He's still got green mail, and those bags of snakes, they do 2 hearts of damage apiece, so they can be pretty nasty.
So Troupster is going in desert as well. Didn't find the myths yet, but has the book, so can full clear it as well. Or not full clear, but defeat the dungeon at least.
Mm-hmm. So where do we find the book, though? Remind me.
I would guess it was Pod. I'm not sure.
It almost would have to be, because I think Troupster is the only one of our runners so far that's actually even ventured into Pod.
Yeah, and that will make a ped check possible for Troupster when he decides to go to Skullwoods, something that we saw yesterday. That information was really important.
God, could we get so lucky to have 2 in a row? And it looks like TRANQ does have what he needs to open Turtle Rock. I believe it's Ether.
Yeah, and doesn't go in right away. Gonna check these overworld spots first, but might actually decide to go in after that. Has 2 small keys to Turtle Rock, so could find something important there for some other dungeons.
Oh, yes. Song actually using a very interesting strat, using Ether to kill the Gyptos.
Yeah, it's a good way to preserve your magic for the Mothula fight.
Absolutely. It's something we don't see too often. Looks like TRANQ going to be checking out Hookshot Cave here. Of course, he has the hookshot to do it, and he has the mirror so he can check Floating Island as well.
Yeah, and Songleaves going down to this fight with 3 hearts. I hope that they have some potion left.
Oh, don't worry. He has a plan B.
Oh, yeah. Easy game.
I always love seeing this strat on Mothula. Oh, he's just gonna have to... No! Oh, no! Plan B didn't work. That's an unfortunate death to take right there.
Yeah, but seems like they decide to go straight back in. And TRANQ is entering the Turtle Rock.
Let's see, what's TRANQ gonna find in the first chest here? Red mail. Talk about survivability. Wait, red mail. Where did he find blue mail?
Must have been in Hookshot Cave.
Well, it looks like Troupster has blue mail no, Troupster has green mail. Never mind. So yep, you're right. He must have found it in Hookshot Cave. So it looks like Songleaves opting to mirror out. Probably going to go grab some needed potions.
Yeah, but unfortunately they haven't got too many rupees yet, so they can't really, even though they have a lot of bottles, they can't buy too many potions.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Troupster, meanwhile, finishing off Land Molas. That's going to get him his first crystal.
So nothing of importance so far in Turtle Rock, but those 2 small keys does let TRANQ go further in.
Yep, he'll be able to push a little further in here. Songleaves, meanwhile, going to find his mittens.
Now we know that the big key for Turtle Rock is in pods, so can't go any further than can't go into the laser bridge. But oh, there's Ice Rod in Turtle Rock.
A nice find to have, but since you really just needed to kill Trinex, it's not really out of the way. So it's good to find, but not as exciting as you would think. TRANQ will get a key here now. He's going to have to figure out if he wants to use it to check that middle chest or not.
Yeah, since this is a crystal, I would guess they keep it for later use, but you never know.
He's not going to check the fire chest. He's actually going to keep pushing on through. Probably going to elect to go check Mimic Cave.
Yeah, and I would say that most of the times that's the right decision to do.
Well, it's only one chest when you get down to it.
Yeah, and pokedude is taking a little trip with that purple chest.
Give it the world tour, why not? Troupster making his way through Skull Woods. Pokedude gonna go turn in the purple chest. Looks like Song electing to try to get some more overworld safeties out of the way. Might go back to Mothra here after a while. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, and Shatton is making a good point that Troupster has all the four small keys to Turtle Rock and also the big key. And it's gonna find that Ice Rod when going into Turtle Rock, so that's fully clearable.
Oh, wait, does he have all 4 Turtle Rock keys?
Yeah, it would seem so, like it.
Interesting. But yeah, if that's the case, then he absolutely could. So I wonder why he's bailing out of it then there.
No, it was TRANQ that went out.
Oh, you're talking about Troupster's got all 4 podcasts.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. When Troupster gets there, he absolutely can. I'm getting TRANQ and Troop swapped around.
Yeah, it's they're pretty similar, right? So.
Troops are going to be using the exact same ether strat that we saw TRANQ using. He's going to take out these Gibdos in one shot.
Yeah, and TRANQ can now check Sahasrara, Eastern, and Pod at the same time for not going there earlier.
TRANQ going to be finding another Turtle Rock small key, so when he heads back around there, he'll have a little bit further he can go. Troupster dodging that Wall Master, because that's a very trolly place to put it. You can actually get grabbed while falling into the pit.
Yeah, and that's not a funny situation to find yourself in.
Not at all.
Because if you get grabbed by the Wall Master, not only do you have to go all the way back, but all the enemies are respawned as well.
You are absolutely right. Looks like Troops are going to be opting to use his blue potion here. Going to swap back to that fire rod and hopefully put Mothula out of business. Yep, there he goes. Pokedude, meanwhile, picking up his coin off of Lake Hylia Island. So he'll be stocked with Quake as well. And Songleaves heading back up Death Mountain at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna pick up at least one of those mail upgrades. That's definitely something you'd like to see.
Well, again, survivability is very key here. Pokedude opting to take a pit stop in with the fairy with only half a heart. Yeah, you don't want to take a death here.
Yeah, and we did get a pet check, and it was only a map, so we're not gonna see that today.
Ah, well, can't get too greedy, I guess, right?
Yeah, we still have that Aga possibility with the big key.
Yes, we do.
So right now, all of our runners are checking stuff that the other people already checked. So I guess this would be a good moment to tell you that these runners, they are doing a lot for us. They are running this seed, and it's not an easy seed. So go ahead and follow them. They're doing such great work in this tournament.
Absolutely. Give all 4 of these runners a follow. I believe we've posted the links here in chat, so yes, give all 4 of these a follow. Also, shoutouts to our trackers, Dark Falls 1983 and Melee Wizard. They are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, trying to help keep everything on pace so that we know who's got what. So give those 2 boys a shout out as well. All right, so let's see. Troupster going to be checking Graveyard Ledge here. Songleaves now making his way up the dark side of Death Mountain, so he's going to check out Hookshot Cave after doing Super Bunny Cave. And Trank now going to be dipping into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if Trank decides going up to Turtle Rock after this dip into pod.
Well, now correct me if I'm wrong. Now he'll find another Turtle Rock small key in here, won't he, or will he? I honestly cannot remember.
He will find a big key at least.
Oh, yep, you're absolutely right. That'll get him all the way down to Laser Bridge.
Yeah, actually all the way to the boss, because he found one small key in the hash closet as well.
Oh, yeah. So that means that now when Trank goes back, he can full clear. Yep, now Trank has what he needs.
Yeah, and Songleaves picked up those the blue mails, so the refight against Mophula later is gonna be a lot easier.
Oh, yes. Troupster picking up his mittens here, so he's got that final lift upgrade going.
Yeah, and Troupster is actually the first one that enters Thieves Town. And finding the temper right away. Nice.
Tempered sword. Wow, that's going to come in handy. Tower Hera Big Key, also in Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's a good find, and I believe we know where all our pendants are. So, or do we?
Well, actually, chat kind of bringing up a good point. Are we sure that Green Pendant was Palace of Darkness, or was it Ice Palace?
Yeah, and thinking back to it, I think that Sashla said it was Ice Palace.
I honestly cannot remember. Yep, one of our trackers reminding us Green Pendant is indeed Ice Palace.
Okay, so not sure yet if Hera is a crystal, but it's definitely more locations to check at least.
Oh, yes. Pokedude finally getting his Master Sword.
Yeah, and Trank just picked up the powder, so that combined with the bug net and the 4 bottles have all the survival kits you need to go through Hyrule.
Well, and I tell you what, having those 2 items definitely adds a nice safety blanket.
And speaking of the powder, I think we're gonna see what the Batcave have not too long, because Troupster is in that area right now.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see this check because it's one location and it's pretty easy to orphan. But if it's important, I mean, it's one of those things that you can forget sometimes pretty easily. Let's see. Red rupee. So if you orphan in location this time, it's not going to bite you too badly.
Yeah, and it looks like Bombos is the required medallion for Meyer today, so that's one more item they have to find.
Yep, that means Bombo's still lurking out there somewhere. Now, worth mentioning, even though it's not a pedestal seed, that does not mean that, like Swamp Palace, since we know that Swamp's a pendant, doesn't mean that we won't need to go in there at some point.
Yeah, and everything we need to finish Swamp is just a small key, so if they find it...
Oh, and remember, there is that front chest in Swamp Palace. They can check one.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the more trolley vanilla locations to have.
Well, and how trolly would it be? Swamp Palace small key in the front chest, and then something like Bombos further inside the Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that could take quite a while before someone makes that gamble.
Songleaves doesn't have the big key for Turtle Rock, does he?
No. Only TRANQ and Troupster has that.
So it looks like he's going to be going in here. Going to have to take this key. Be interested to see if he. Well, no, yeah, he's without having the big key, he's kind of stuck here. He's going to go ahead and check the lava chest. We'll see what that has. Just a piece of heart, unfortunately.
Yeah, it didn't pay off, but we know that they're going to find all 4 small keys, so it's not going to hurt him too much.
Oh, not too badly. Troupster checking Bombo's tablet. Going to find a Dark Palace small key.
Yeah, and since Troupster did make the bomb jump, only needs the big key to full clear pod now.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
And TRANQ is making the second dip into Turtle Rock, probably going to finish it this time.
Certainly hope so. He does have everything he needs, although, has he got, what kind of sword has he got? Has he got butter?
No, it's only fighter sword, unfortunately.
Oh,
So this is going to be a hammer fight.
Yeah.
So TRANQ can get a lot of fairies with this powder, but I don't think that's going to be the biggest problem in the fight. The biggest problem is going to be the magic.
Yep, magic's going to be a huge issue. You're going to have to time your shots very carefully. Meanwhile, it looks like Song's going to give us the first glimpse into Ice Palace. I'll be interested to see what's in here.
Yeah, and this is a location that's been open a long time in the logic.
Well, so far, just a small woods, or a skull key to small... God, I cannot talk. A small key to Skull Woods.
And Pokedude is fighting the Molas, also running out of magic, but with the Master Sword, that makes the fight a little bit easier if you run out of magic. So it looks like we're getting an clear in Hera now from Troupster.
Let's see, he's got the big key, so he'll be able to go to the top. I don't think he has a small key yet, or does he?
No, I don't think anyone has found that yet. And TRANQ was slashing that chest. What did they find?
Well, he now knows if Ganon's tower is a pendant or a crystal. And we all know how important that information is.
Yeah, that's big, because the music is shuffled, so he can't tell by the music in Ganon's tower. And pokedude is now going for the spikade. That's also something that's been in logic for quite some time.
Well, another one of those locations it's kind of easy to forget about, too. TRANQ finding money on Laser Bridge. Looks like he also had found... Well, yeah, just money so far. Troops are getting his small key to Desert Palace. Could unlock that right side.
Yeah, and also getting a crystal, which is nice.
And with the compass to gain this tower, TRANQ now knows where the tower is. So, yeah, Laser Bridge kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, and that's something that's very possible in Keysanity. That's actually usually better in open mode, because you find all the small keys before you get to Laser Bridge, and then you find the items on Laser Bridge. And the big key up pod was in Ice Palace.
Oh, once you go to Ice Palace, now you can full clear that place. And the bow! The bow! Yep, Ice Palace is a place you definitely want to go.
Yeah, TRANQ started in a fight with the hammer against Trinex.
Well, he gets that fire head down. At least now it's time to take out the ice head.
Yeah, and you want to get as much use out of this magic as possible. I hope that TRANQ has a potion, because... Oh, he got it down. Never mind.
He's got it. Now, actually, the second half, quite a bit easier, just you have to know how to lure Trinex around. But, yeah, you can take him out.
Yeah, and with the fairies and the red mail, he's going to have a lot of time, and doesn't even take a single hit, so...
Yeah, the second half of the Trinex fight, a lot easier than the first half. Small key for your troubles, and it's to Skull Woods.
So I think the only really important thing we found in Turtle Rock was the Ice Rod.
Yep, Ice Rod, and I don't think we have seen anything else too terribly important in there.
So something that's interesting about Songleaves' decision to go into Ice is that Songleave hasn't been in Pod yet, so it's gonna say one key if they decide to go right side. Don't have to open that middle door.
Absolutely right. Trank going to be making his check for Spike Cave now.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, and Pokedude is finishing up Trolldorm, and Troupster is heading into Turtle Rock as well. Going to be able to full clear it right away.
Well, and with having level 3 sword, that's going to make the first half of the Trinex fight quite a bit easier. Don't have to worry about that wonky hitbox from that hammer, and the extra menu time.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's nice. And Songleaves is preparing to go down to Cold Stare. Doesn't have the full magic bar, but does have a green potion, so breaking that shell isn't going to be a problem.
Not at all. And he'll have plenty of ammo left over for just in case if he wants to use that fire rod on Cold Stare. But you can do it with Master Sword. It's just not a fun fight. And you can do it with Hammer as well, but that's really not a fun fight. Interestingly, opting to go with the cape here. That's I've never seen cape used on Cold Stare before.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you the ability to just spam those slashes right away, but yeah, why not?
I mean, hey, it works, right? And yet, with the red mail, Sonic now finding his Chaos Emeralds, now he's going to be able to take quite a few more hits before going down.
Yeah, and Songleaves did have a blue potion as well, so this is just finishing up the fight, no problem.
See, that fire rod, I love using the fire rod here because it just melts through Cold Stare. I'm going to get the green pennant for his troubles. Now he's going to be able to go check to see what Sadahada Bing Bong has.
Yeah, and might go into pod at the same time.
Oh, yep, with the bow. Yeah, Eastern Palace is completely doable at this point.
Oh yeah, that's right. They have the big key for Eastern as well.
Uh-huh. So Songleaves going to be able to do quite a bit of efficient routing here. Trank getting to the back half of Skull Woods here. Going to go give Mothra the business, hopefully.
So I think there's 3 small, big keys that we haven't found yet. It's Swamp, Thieves Town, and GT. So that big key on the Lumberjack.
The only thing that would make AGA 1 not required is if it is the big key to Swamp. But even then, what if the big chest in Swamp has something important?
Yeah, and we don't really know if Thieves Town could be a pendant as well, but they haven't found any Castle Tower keys yet, so that isn't really in the logic so far. So. Now Trank going into the Mothula fight and having the red mail, this will probably not be a problem at all.
Yeah, with Master Sword makes pretty good, and then, like I said, those fire rod shots, Moth goes down pretty nicely. Now, Cherry's saying if Argus is holding something good, bear in mind, The big key is not required to get to Argus. It's one of the few dungeons where you do not need the big key to get into the boss.
Yeah, it's one of those dungeons that the big key only opens up one single location. And TRANQ is first leaving Skullwoods and then going back, realizing there's one chest there and haven't checked ped yet.
Yep. I think it was only a piece of heart there, so not terribly important, but TRANQ has no way of knowing that. So definitely you don't want to orphan a chest, especially one this far out of the way. Now, troops are going to be running down Laser Bridge. Unfortunately, not going to find anything terribly valuable here, but with 4 chests down here, you can't afford really not to check them.
Yeah, Keysanity is one of those modes that it's just super hard to make any gambles to leave any chest behind if you can check it.
No, you really don't want to leave anything behind. Now, Songleaves with silver arrows, Armos is going to be a very non-consequential fight. You know, 1 arrow, 1 shot, 1 kill for these guys.
Oh yeah, that's a fight that's usually pretty easy, even if you don't have silver arrows. But with the silvers, it's just that's almost like a joke.
And it's trivialized at that point. Let's see here. TRANQ has the big key for Thieves Town. Doesn't he, or does he?
No, I don't think anyone have found the big key for Thieves Town yet.
Oh
Just
god,
a
you're
small
right.
key.
So he'll just be checking these first 4 chests in here.
Yeah, getting the Temper Sword and the big key for Hera. That's important because Hera is a crystal.
Might have been wishing he had that for Mothula, but still, TRANQ put on an excellent Moth fight earlier. So, I mean, you can't be unhappy with that at all. But he's going to be glad he has that going forward.
And Trinax goes down for Troupster.
Yep, Troupster putting on a very good fight for Trinax. Songleaves is going to be showing us the bow-locked half of Palace of Darkness. Remember to note that Songleaves is the only one that's gone to Ice Palace, and therefore he is the only one that has the bow.
Yeah, and Ice Palace is also a pendant dungeon, so it could take quite a while before people decide to go in there.
That's quite a shame, but yeah, that's again, just because it's not a pedestal seat does not mean those pendant dungeons are not important, and this is a very good case in point for that.
Yeah, and for some reason, it always feels like the green pendant has the value. There's nothing in the logic about that, but it just seems to always be the case.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And by the way, did Songleaves decide to turn in that green pendant? Because I might have missed that.
I can't remember if he did or not. Now, what was that second chest on the right side of desert? I know that the first one was accomplished. I missed that second one.
I'm not sure, but it seems like Sahasrara had bombos, and that's required for Mr. Meyer.
Oh yes, absolutely. Oh, that is huge. That means Ice Palace definitely the big play.
So Troupster is now going into Ice Palace and is definitely going to be happy with what they found in here.
Thanks, Dark. Looks like the second chest was just a small key to Ganon's tower. So yeah, that right side of desert, not really worth anything.
Now Song is checking the big chest in pod, and just a single rupee.
Yeah, unfortunately, you always want to check that, but that's one time when that big chest, you almost wish you could just have left it behind.
And Song didn't do the hammer jump, so he's gonna have to make a decision now if they will go for the boss or if they will go for the vanilla big key location.
Well, it looks like he's going to be opting for the just the first chest at first. He's not going to go for the vanilla big key location just yet. Going to check this one chest here. Finding powder, of course. So now we have to wait and see, just like you said. Have we seen what's in that location yet? The vanilla big chest or big key location in pod?
It feels like we should have seen it by now. I'm pretty sure we have, but I can't remember what it was, and that's mostly an indicator that it wasn't something important.
Well, based on where he's headed, looks like Songleaves is going to opt to not have that vanilla big key location, so he's going to go straight to the boss, it looks like.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a risk. Not in this seed, however, because I think we've seen all the small keys collectively for a pod, so there's shouldn't be any chance of a soft lock. But the players have been warned that they should not go to Helmazar if they aren't in go mode, or have checked all the other chests in pod. So it's definitely a gamble, but it's gonna pay off.
At this point, it's one location, and it's almost like you feel like you have to take that gamble. Now, Troupster are going to be the second player to find a bow, and going to be very glad he found that.
Yeah, and TRANQ is making the gamble on Swamp Palace.
Ooh, I'm going to be definitely tuning in for this. Let's see, what does the first chest in Swamp hold? It has the Bloomerang. Gamble not worth it. Confirmed.
The Bloomerang is required, right?
Sure. It's required for something. I don't know what. But yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
He's gonna be going for that Bloomerang strats on Ganon, for sure.
Well, and Sketchfile making a very good point. It is better than the Red Meringue. Now, Pokedude going to be heading into Ice Palace. Looks like he's going to end up being the third player to get his bow. TRANQ, meanwhile, looks like he's going to check Ice Rod Palace. Hopefully he decides to route in IP. Or, yeah, he's going to go Ice Rod Cave. Hopefully he will route in IP after this.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. And with this silver arrows, just one hit to take down the Helmasaur.
Yeah, Helmasaur is a very easy fight with silver arrows. Now, let's take stock real quick. What are we missing for Go Mode? What do we still need to find?
It's a good question. We need a big key for Ganon's Tower, for sure. And besides that, I actually don't think we need to find anything more. Because Thieves Town should be the crystal dependent.
Well, if Thieves Town is a pendant, we don't need that big key. Unless, of course, Ganon's Tower big key is somewhere locked behind Thieves Town. In which case, then you absolutely would need the big key, just as a prerequisite. Let's see, we have Meyer big key already.
Yeah, so when all the players have picked up the locations that everyone else has checked, I think it's only the big key for GT left.
Mm-hmm.
And we do know that it's a big key on the Lumberjack, so...
Yep, that actually brings up a very valid point. Now, if the Ganon's Tower big key is in Lumberjack Cave, then we need not only to kill Aga, and that requires 2 Castle Tower keys.
Yeah, and it's interesting that none of our players have actually checked the first chest in Aga yet.
Yep, could have a Castle Tower key there, and then that means we just need one more past that. Wait, have we not checked the first chest, or the first chest in Aga Tower?
I don't think so. Maybe. But I can't recall that we have.
Well, we'll leave Go Mode for now. Looking at some fresh territory, looks like Song is going to show us into Misery Mire.
Yeah, making all the progress from that Ice Palace play earlier.
Yes, I would say, granted, in his matchup, he definitely has the advantage, but even out of all of these 4, assuming if these 4 were all in a race, I would give an advantage to Song at this point just because of his early Ice Palace play.
Yeah, and the other one actually has definitely picked up on that, because Troupster has finished it, and we have 2 other racers in that palace right now.
Yep, so as far as looking at these individual matches, it looks like Songleaves has the advantage in his match, and Troupster currently has the advantage in his match. But still a lot left to go. It's certainly not a lead, it's just more an advantage than anything.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell leads until someone goes into Go Mode, but yeah, you can definitely have an advantage over how many required items and things like that you have.
Songleaves going to be checking past the switches, this switch chest over here. Going to find a heart container for his troubles.
Yeah, and something that actually could make Songleaves that could hurt him is actually that he hasn't gone into Turtle Rock yet, and it's not always that you're gonna make that gamble that you're gonna find the ice rod in the Turtle Rock.
Oh yes, very true. Wait a second. He's got the ice rod. He's been there, hasn't he?
Oh, okay, yeah. Then it's just me who's being silly.
That said, I honestly couldn't remember. Sometimes it's a lot to keep track of, and that's why we got 2 tractors.
Yeah, the trackers makes us look so much better because we actually can figure out what's going on.
All right, so let's see. Song, I believe he has checked every location in Mire except for Vitreous, and he's going to be headed there now. So I'll be interested to see what Vitreous has on him, but if Vitreous doesn't have anything, then yeah, we're going to have to start trying to find out where in the world those 2 small keys are. Wow, I've never seen that hookshot strat to check that chest.
Yeah, it's an interesting strat. It saves you a little bit of time, I think. And when you're playing against players of this caliber, every single time save you can make could be very important.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the good news is we at least are in item no mode. We know where all the items are that we need to go into go mode. We know where everything is. So really, we're just looking for keys.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
A little bit unnerving, again, the fact we have not found so much as a single castle tower key. And since we know a big key, like we've talked about earlier, is in Lumberjack Cave, it's got to be, you have to wonder if that's entered our runners' minds yet.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that 2 of our pendant dungeons, we can't do very much in them.
Not at all. The swamp, you can check the first chest, and that's it. Songleaves taking care of Vitreous there. Let's see what Vitreous has. A small key to Ice Palace. Oh my lord. I'm seeing some stuff in chat here. What if our castle tower keys are in Ganon's tower?
Oh yeah, that would be something.
Ooh, that would be...
Or to make it even worse, what if Swamp Palace is in GT and then the castle towers are in Swamp?
Ooh, that's evil. I like it. We're just gonna have to tune in and find out at this point. But yeah, our runners are running out of options at this point.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think of locations that we haven't checked yet, and it's not too many locations at all, actually. So, but they have everything they need to enter Ganon's tower, so...
Oh, and chat also pointing out, or Dark actually pointing out, we haven't checked Fat Fairy yet. Fat Fairy could very well have both Castle Tower keys.
Yeah, and that
It's long
would
odds,
be...
but it's absolutely possible.
Yeah, and with the mirror, that would be a very quick check over to Aga Tower.
Oh god, yes, that would be excellent routing right there.
So let's see. When Troupster is done with Mr. Meyer, I think he has all 7 crystals.
Yes, I believe you're correct. Now, Songleaves, I think, once he finishes up with Desert, he'll have 6. Now, all he'll need to do is go to Tower of Hera and get his 7th, and then he will be able to climb the tower.
And now pokedude is picking up the bombos. That's really good because I mean sometimes you just forget that you have the green pennant.
Well, and depending on how you routed, that check might be out of the way. Now let's see here. TRANQ is going to be finishing off Palace of Darkness here. Once he's done with Pod, he'll just mirror out. He'll take care of Armos and Eastern Palace, and I believe that'll be his 7th crystal. So Pod's going to be 6, and EP is going to be 7 for him.
Yeah, so TRANQ and Troupster, it's going to be interesting to see if they go to Fat Fairy or up to Ganon's Tower. They might do it at the same time.
Boy, I tell you what, this is getting pretty interesting right here.
And if the Ganon's Tower big key is in Ganon's Tower, that's also going to be an interesting play to see who goes right and who goes left.
If we still haven't found the Ganon's Tower big key, we might have a guessing game after all, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just have to wait and see when we get there.
And Songleaves is getting ready for some revenge on Mophila.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, now he's got red mail, 15 hearts. Yeah, I think I think he's getting ready to give Mophila the business.
And Troupster is going back into Mr. Meyer. Decided to take a little bit of a gamble going to Vitrias almost straight away to hopefully find the big key to GT, but didn't find it, so he's going back in to full clear the rest of the chests.
Yeah, it was a bit of a gamble on his part. He'll find 2 heart containers. I don't know if we found anything else of value in Meyer, though.
I don't think so. Anything of value right now would be the big key to GT, so...
So now, that begs the question. You get your 7th crystal. What's your next move after that? I mean,
yeah, that's a good question. I mean, GT has the most density of chests, so I think that most of the times that's the best play to make.
Yeah, the only thing I would be inclined to do, I would check Fat Fairy first, but after that, I would absolutely head up to Ganon's Tower because you've got so many options to check there.
Yeah, and TRANQ has 7 crystals and is floating to... Oh no, he hasn't done Mr. Mario yet. Never mind.
Yep, he's got one more to grab, and then he will have his 6. Song getting a very satisfying win over Mothula there. Doesn't find the castle tower keys, only finds a map.
Yeah, and one of those maps that's never ever like nice to find.
It's about as useful as the Ganon's Tower map.
So only one more location for Troupster to check here in Meyer. It's going to be interesting to see what the play is after that.
Well, let's see. Doing a quick check, I mean, he's got his 7 crystals. I would have to hope that he would go to Fat Fairy next, but you never know.
Goes to the mountains, so it looks like it's GT time.
Okay.
So, do I have a guessing game?
You know what, chat? We're going to have a guessing game tonight. Here's your locations. For the Ganon's Tower Big Key, 1 through 22 for the Ganon's Tower basement, 23 if it is on Lumberjack Cave. Get your guesses in now. Let's have at it. Why not? Myself, I have to put smart money on 23, but I could be wrong.
So, if you were to find the 2 small keys to Castle Tower, do you think there's a chance that they will mirror out and just go to Aga straight away, or would you continue to just finish up the dungeon first?
Well, that's a very good question, actually. I'm not sure what I would do in that situation.
So if the big key is in Ganon's Tower, TRANQ has a little bit of time to catch up on, but the left-right play could be a part of that.
I have a little bit of time to catch up, but I don't know. I'm starting to think more and more it's Lumberjack Cave. It almost has to be. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be, but that just... the signs are too hard to ignore at this point.
Yeah, so Troupster decides to go full right side right away, and that's definitely a valid option. I think both left and right has good arguments for which side is best.
It seems like statistically, now this is in normal mode. If you go do the first 2 chests on right, and then you mirror back and then go left from there, that tends to get you the highest statistical probability to find it. But then again, statistics are only good if it actually works. There's a Tower of Hera small key. There's one of our Castle Tower.
Castle Tower key, yeah.
Interesting. Going to go ahead and leave.
Yeah, I think he's gonna check the basement in Tower Hare.
Well, you know what? I mean, might as well.
So if the key is in Ganon's tower, that's gonna cost him some time. But if it's not, that's a big gamble that probably not everyone is gonna make.
Nope, not. I mean, because it's one location, and you've got so much downtime before you even get to the location. So yeah, it's a bit of a gamble here. But it does save more time than checking the rest of left side Ganon's tower, too. Still just a little bit surprised it didn't check Fat Fairy first. But again, that's just, you know, that's because that's one place you can route before you even set foot in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, and it's also possible that, because Mr. Meyer was part of that Fat Fairy combination, so it's when you get those 7 crystals, sometimes all you can think about is Ganon's tower.
You're absolutely right. Shovel.
Shovel.
Wait, we didn't check dig spot. Oh, okay. Well, earmark that one, folks.
Yeah, that's one of the bad things about checking Ganon's basement is that you're gonna get so many new directions to go in.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, 7 was no help for the Ganon's Tower Big Key. I mean, come on, how often do we get to play this game in Keysanity? I'm going with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit rare. Oh, that's Thieves Town.
Oh. The rage slashes.
Yeah, that definitely makes Aga more possible.
I got so excited there for a minute. I thought, hey, that's it. No, wait, it's not. So suddenly that lumberjack became a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, and TRANQ is going for Fat Fairy, so... And there's a Swamp Palace small key as well.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have the Rando Hundo. For those of you wondering what the Rando Hundo is, that's where you check literally every location in the game.
So TRANQ checking Fat Fairy did find a half magic, but no big keys.
Good quality of life item, but
yeah,
no
and
help.
It's also going into Aga, going to check that first chest at least.
Interesting. Well, we're not 100% sure if it's a double dip yet. We could still find the big key somewhere here in the basement.
Oh,
there it is! There it is!
So it's the Swamp Palace big key.
Oh my, what a troll. Oh, that means Troupster's in go mode, and it's time to climb the tower. What a troll we see.
Yeah, so TRANQ can catch up a little bit if he decides to go left side straight away, but it's still gonna be behind.
Well, like I said, at this point, Troupster's climbing the tower.
And Songleaves took a death on TRANQ. That's unfortunate, but did take the safety door, so it's not too long of a way back.
I believe that was that number 15 that he checked in the rando room. I think it was 15. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah. I think so.
I don't have a prize for you, chat, though, so very sorry. The prize is now we get to complete the game. Gesellschaft asking, what are the scores for these racers? TRANQ and Troupster are both 1 and 0. Song and pokedude are both 0 and 1. So your tops are 1 and 0. Your bottoms are 0 and 1.
Yeah, and both racers are still pretty. It's still possible for either racer to win this.
Oh yes, it's still very, very close. Because any number of things can happen. Although
Yeah.
Troupster does have silver arrows and tempered, so provided he can make it through the gauntlet and doesn't fall to Ganon, he's in pretty good shape. TRANQ opting to go straight left side.
That's a good call for him.
It's going to work out very nicely for him.
And in the bottom race, Songleaves and pokedude are both in Turtle Rock by now, and after this, they still have one more dungeon left each. However, Songleaves only need to do Tower of Hera, so it's going to be up in Death Mountain.
Looks like Troupster are going to start the second half of the gauntlet at the 3 Wizrobe room. Going to dash across this bridge and then get to the 4 Wizrobe room. Meanwhile, TRANQ getting the double firebar chest. Needs to go a little bit further. He's not going to find that big key until he gets to the rando room.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Songleaves defeats TRANQ9, so only have to defeat Trolldrum and then go into Ganon's Tower for go mode.
Although he doesn't know that quite yet.
Yeah, that's true. It's not just because we know the big keys in Ganon's Tower are runners, they don't know it.
But yes, this race between TRANQ and Troupster is going to be heating up quite a bit, especially when TRANQ gets to this room. Called the rando room because you never see it anywhere except in Randomizer. You never go here like in NMG or anything like that. But you absolutely go here for these 4 chests.
Yeah, before I started playing Randomizer, I didn't even know that that room existed.
And TRANQ, a little hesitation there, saying, oh my goodness, no text box, that's the one I'm looking for. Now he's going to start his tower climb. Just a little bit behind Troupster, but not too much.
Yeah, Troupster is going for the Aga 2 fight now.
Not going to open this final chest, but I don't blame him. He's getting to the top of the tower almost at the hour 50 mark. He's got to be feeling good at this point, especially with that Ganon's Tower key being so far out of the way and in a spot that, you know, not everybody would think to check. He's got to be feeling good at this point.
Yeah, it looks like Troupster is gonna finish this before 2 hours, and very possible that TRANQ does it as well. So that's really good.
Oh yes, Troupster getting a double on Aga 2. Another single getting through that blue ball. Getting another single. I believe one more will finish him off here. Yep, and there goes Aga 2. So Troupster are going to be heading into the Ganon fight first. TRANQ starting the gauntlet, not too far behind, maybe 4 to 5 minutes difference, if that. Probably not even that much.
Yeah, so unless something unexpected happens, Troupster has a pretty good lead.
Oh, yes.
And Songleaves now finishing up Tower of Hera, so has 7 crystals now as well.
Now with Red Sword and Silver's, Troupster should have a pretty easy time with Ganon here.
Yeah, in phase 3 already.
Now Ganon, behave with the teleports.
Yeah, something that's good for the runners at least is that everyone is going to get the same number of teleports.
Oh yes, it's not like everybody has to deal with their own bad luck. Everybody's luck is the same here.
And Troupster getting the torch glitch, that's nice. Especially when you don't have half magic.
Well, and while it's not strictly speaking required here, it's still nice to have.
Only 1 hit away now. And there it is. Big GG to Troupster.
There you have it, folks.
Fantastic time. So Troupster has finished first with an SRL time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 19 seconds. GG to you, Troupster.
Yes, very well played. We'll see if we can get him in here for an interview. Meanwhile, TRANQ hot on his heels at Trolldorm 2 right now. Hey, Troupster.
Whoa. How's it going?
Good game, man. Very well played. Very nice time, and congratulations on your win and going to 2-0.
I can't believe it.
So, tell us about that seed.
That's the best Keysanity race I've played. By far. I guess it was a good time to pull it out. I made that gamble on Turtle Rock having Ice Rod because I've been playing a lot of Keysanity these last few weeks. I knew it was going to be in there. Even if it wasn't, there was a lot of items I needed from Turtle Rock, so man, I'm happy I went in, but that big key at the end, I almost forgot about it when I went into Misery Mire. But about halfway through the front room, I'm like, wait, I need Ganon's key. Oh gosh.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. I noticed that you didn't check Fat Fairy before heading up through Ganon's tower. What were your thoughts as you were climbing the tower? I mean, were you a little concerned that maybe you should have doubled back, or what were your thoughts? Like I said, as you were climbing and looking for that key.
I thought about it, but I also thought about the first chest in Aga's tower and how I was missing keys there, and maybe it was hiding in there. I thought about the big key that was hiding in Lumberjacks, but I'm like, man, that key is such bait. Like, I know it's not the key. I couldn't get to Aghanim, so I'm like, I'm gonna go to the place that has the most chests first, check it out, and then I got that Hera key, and I mean, there was all the, the small key to Swamp, the Hera key, the Thieves Town big key, and it was like, come on, man. How are you supposed to know what to do? I was like, well, I'll just keep clearing chests, and then from there, I was going to probably go to Swamp.
Yeah, that Hera gamble left the right side was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a feeling, right?
Well, we did play a Ganon's Tower guessing game just in case, and it ended up paying off. Number 15 being the winner.
Congrats, number 15. What a seed, though. There were so many items at the start. I was kind of freaking out. I didn't know where to go. So I'm like, I'm just going to kind of stick to the normal plan, clear stuff, and then decide.
Yeah, almost every single chest in Blind's hut was a progression.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was an extremely front-loaded seed. I mean, very front-loaded.
It's been...
Oh, go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, it's been a very tight race as well. Your opponent TRANQ is in the 4th state of Ganon right now.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be close just because it was pretty linear. There wasn't a lot of gambles to make. And the gamble in Turtle Rock, I don't think helped me a whole lot, right?
I think your gamble into Pod did, however, pay off because you could full clear Turtle Rock when you went in there. I think everyone else had to double dip it.
Oh, yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I think I heard Willard talking about Keysanity is about reducing your double dips, and I think that's true. Just get as much as you can before you go places.
Yeah, and TRANQ has finished now with an official time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 20 seconds. So big GG's to TRANQ.
Only 4 minutes separating you guys.
GG to him, man.
Let's see if we can pull him in here for an interview as well. We still have Song and Poke racing it out. Song looks like he's actually going to try for Agate Tower.
Oh yeah, Song went into GT, found the Castle Tower key, and now is in Agate Tower. So that's definitely a gamble that gives pokedude a chance to catch up here. Song is now realizing it does need another key, so maybe that will send him back into GT again.
We can only hope.
Yeah, when I found the first key in Ganon's Tower, I really thought, oh, it's in Aga's Tower, or it's actually Lumberjack's, but luckily I kept going.
Like I said, it ended up paying off for you big, and congratulations again on your win. Like I said, going into 2-0. How do you feel going into round 3?
I'm pretty new. I only started playing at the end of December because of the last tournament, so I'm pretty nervous. I'll probably lose. There's some really good players in this tournament, but I'll just keep learning, keep practicing, I guess.
Well, you played very well. I mean, a very impressive routing on your part through this whole seed. So yeah, very, very well played.
That's a shout out to my coach, Kermit. He yells at me when I go stupid places.
And he won't be gelling so much at you after this race then.
Awesome.
I'm still checking to see if we can get TRANQ in here for an interview, so give us just a moment on that one.
Yeah, it looks like he might be on his way in.
Meanwhile, going back in to check on Song and Pokedude, Poke is going to be heading to the back of Skull Woods, and then Songleaves is going to be checking Fat Fairy, going to try to rule out all those locations before going into Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, so it could be really a tight race here between Songleaves and Pokedudes, because Pokedude is almost finished up Skullwoods now and is going to have 7 crystals by then.
It's interesting that he's doing Skullwoods now, and I think I did that in the first 35 minutes.
Well, it's something and we noticed at the very beginning. Not a lot of. I think TRANQ actually ended up opting not to do Skullwoods until a little bit later. But having the sword, having the fire rod, I would have thought that would have been something you want to clear right away because you have all the tools to do it.
Yeah, I felt pretty comfortable with the Master Sword. I was a little bit sketched out with just the plastic one on the way in, but as soon as I got Master Sword, I'm like, okay, this will be fine.
Yeah, and TRANQ actually finished Turtle Rock before that, so it was an fighter sword Trinax. So I had to use the hammer.
My first race, I actually had that situation, and I just left. But since then, I've practiced with the hammer a lot.
All right, we have TRANQ. I'm going to go ahead and pull him down in here. So give me just 1 second.
So it looks like Songleaves is continuing to check some overworld spots, and pokedude has almost finished up Mafia.
Hey, TRANQ. Good game, man. Very well played. Coming in at the hour 57 mark. How you feeling after that seed, dude?
Oh, I'm feeling like I probably cleared far too much before going into Ganon's tower.
Yeah, it was very strange, actually. Like I said, the Ganon's Tower Big Key being on the left side of Ganon's Tower basement. It's not one we see too often.
Yeah, no, that definitely wasn't a fun location for it to be, given that forced you to full clear everything up to the point just to avoid missing it.
Absolutely right, but still coming in under the 2-hour mark. I mean, how are you feeling as far as your time and your routing went?
I'm feeling really good for that timing, coming in under 2 hours, given the only location I think I left behind before going to Ganon's Tower was the bat.
Yeah, and the bat only had a big 20, so you didn't miss anything there. So what were your thoughts about that lumberjack key?
I was very concerned that was the Ganon Tower key for quite some time.
I think we all must have been.
Well, as I was telling Troupster, we played the Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game just in case, and that spot was number 23, just in case it was not in one of the first 22.
The only downside of that one, though, was we had no keys for Castle Tower, so I was kind of narrowing that down to probably not being it.
Were you nervous when you found the first key up in the Ganon's Tower?
TRANQ actually went left side first, so he didn't find any of those small keys. I don't think. We were a little bit concerned that both small keys was going to be in GT and then the big key on the lumberjack.
Yeah, there was plenty of room for trolling at the end of the seed.
Yeah, I was definitely concerned when I found both the Thieves Town big key and the small key for Swamp on left side before the big key for Ganon's Tower, that I'd have to jump into one of those two dungeons.
Oh yeah, for sure, that would just be mean by the seed.
I think it's quite an emotional roller coaster when you're looking for the GT big key and a big key pops out and there's a delay before the text. Your heart, shoots up. You're like, oh.
Overall, yeah, I'm definitely happy with that time for 172 chests cleared for under 2 hours.
Yeah, like I said, both of you guys did very good times on both of your part, and the fact that you guys were separated by about 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. GG, man. Good gamble on going up there as well.
You as well, Troop. Good game.
So now, TRANQ, that will put you at 1-1, but going into round 3 of the Swiss, what are your thoughts going into next week's matches?
I'm looking forward to it, and I think I may have to try to take more gambles and maybe gamble Ganon's Tower earlier instead of going full clearing Misery and checking out Fat Fairy and the first chest in Castle Tower. If I think I didn't do those, I would be right there with him.
Oh, and Songleaves went into to swamp now. Found the second Castle Tower key. Might go for the Aga play right now.
I don't blame him at all, but that feels really bad.
Yeah, this is turning into an interesting match between Song and pokedude.
Yeah, Song definitely had the lead, but is giving it away a little bit for every second he doesn't go back into GT.
So I guess, I mean, and this may be a bit of an obvious question, but I want to get both of your guys' thoughts on this. As you're like, let's say the game's winding down, just like it was tonight, and you don't have the Ganon's Tower big key. I mean, what is your calculus that you use before you even start wondering, okay, should I go ahead and commit to Ganon's Tower? Should I check other places? I mean, what do you guys think as you're in that situation? Troop, I want to start with you.
I mean, you probably saw me pause in Misery Mire when it actually hit me. I didn't have it, and then I was thinking, okay, I've got to check a few chests on the way. I'm going to kill Vitreous because maybe I get lucky and he drops it. And then if not, I'm coming back in to check these. So I'm just looking for density at that point because I think the Ganon Tower big key, the logic could be anywhere, right? It just, there's no knowing. So I think you're just going for the most item dense locations that would make sense along the way. That's how I looked at it.
Gotcha.
Which, yeah, the GT, I mean, 22 chests.
Right. TRANQ, what about you? What goes through your mind as you're, as you're in that same situation?
I was thinking about just convenience and what do I not want to go back to should I have to leave Ganon's Tower if it's not there.
Yeah, and that's definitely a scary thought, because if you clear the Ganon's basement, you're most of the times you're just gonna have so many options after that, because you find everything that you didn't have before.
Yeah, so true. Like you said, it opened up Thieves Town, Swamp, and the Aga chests. It was just a lot to check after that if it wasn't there.
Yep, I'm starting to think Song believes that the mystery big key is actually the GT big key, just like we thought for the longest time. He's getting ready to go up to Aga 1 now, but I'd be interested to see what he does when he finds out that that's the Swamp Palace big key.
I think that easily could have cost me the race if I did Aganon before Ganon's Tower. And I was really thinking about it.
Well, at this point, with pokedude making his way through Misery Mire, it very well may come down to it between Song and Poke whether this ends up being something that that Agachek may come back and haunt him a little bit. I mean, maybe not, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it might lead them to go into Ganon's Tower at the same time.
So that big key on the Lumberjacks is the Swamp big key.
Yep, because you guys found the Thieves Town one in good lord, I can't even think now. You found Thieves Town in in Ganon's Tower, and then you also found the Ganon's Tower big key up there. So I believe the process of elimination, I think it's the only one that's left.
Yeah, it should be Swamp. And hopefully it doesn't leave Songleaves into going into Swamp again.
I think that also played a role in my decision to skip Aga or not, look elsewhere, was that we were missing 3 big keys when we went up, and there was a 33% chance that one was just bait. So I went with my gut.
The 1 in 3 is not exactly very good odds, especially when you're looking at spending, a lot of time to get to it.
So, if you had the 2 castle towers before GT, do you think that you would have gone for the Agaplay?
Probably.
Yeah, I probably would have as well went.
I think it would have been safer though, because I could assume TRANQ would also do the same thing, because it's pretty logical. So I'd feel okay doing that.
Yeah, and Songleaves is letting out some frustration now, finding that Swamp Palace big key.
Yeah, a few rage slashes there. He's gonna check pedestal. Did he not check? I can't remember if he checked pedestal earlier or not. Of course, we know there's only a map on there.
Yeah, I believe Songleaves did check the ped.
That actually confused me for a short while. I wasn't sure if that was a map. Is there like a list of all those text boxes? Because I was like, okay, I think that's a map, but
it's one of the few I know that when it says you can now find your way home, it's a map, but I have no idea what the text box is for a compass.
The compass is where the boss hides.
Ah.
And that's a pretty good question as well. I'm not sure if there is a list for all the different text boxes.
it looks like Sketch says there is. It's just more to study, and I think that's what I really like about Rando and Zelda. Every room you can learn strategies, you can study stuff. There's just so much information to take in. You can always get better at the game, it seems.
Well, not only that, but how cool is it that we're in a kind of community where, people willingly share that information. Everybody's so happy to help each other. Going back through my commentary, during the daily races and everything. We have a very good community here. It's very competitive, but it's a very friendly community too.
Yeah, it's great here.
Yeah, I have to wonder if Song is maybe not remembering something.
Yeah, unfortunately it seems like it, and does seems like Song is going to go back into Swamp.
Well, and while he's doing that, Pokedude is slowly making his way through Mire, although he has one more crystal he has to get after this. Where is Pokedude not gone yet?
No, I think... Oh, yeah, it's Pod, right?
Oh, yeah. So, Song's still in a lead here, but again, just it's going to be very interesting to see if he starts thinking maybe he forgot a location where instead of going straight to Ganon's Tower.
That just reminded me of a big mistake I made. I forgot to check the elephant dude to see where the 2 red crystals were. So I was just gambling on dungeons when I went into Eastern and Pod. So I was kind of praying quite a bit as the things were falling from the sky.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that's interesting in Rando as well, because information can buy you a lot of time.
At one point, I thought about going back to him, I think when I was getting the Bombos tablet, but I was like, no, I just got to play through it, and then at this point, if I make a mistake, oh well, maybe there'll be a good item anyway. Like when I found Bombos, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Ice definitely had some interesting values today. Pod, Big Key, Bow, and the Bombos. So this seed was kind of forgiving in a way that you didn't have to check too many of the pendant dungeons.
Yeah, I guess we really only had access to ice. The other two, we were very limited at the front door.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Oh wow, look at that, boys. Mushroom was in the Swamp Palace big chest. Fetch quest.
Yeah, defeating Aga only to get the mushroom.
Maybe it's Butter Sword.
Maybe. Meanwhile, Pokedude gonna be making his way back to Pod.
Yeah, and I believe that Pokedude checked everything except for the boss before this, so he can just go straight into the Helmsor fight.
Yep. And then what'll end up deciding this race, I believe, does Pokedude go ahead and take the plunge and go to GT?
I think he's running out of locations.
Yeah, if Song, because Pokedude could do the exact same thing that Song's doing right now. I mean, that's entirely possible.
Oh, right.
But like I said, if Pokedude goes up there and goes straight to Ganon's tower, that could absolutely swing the momentum in this race.
It'll be very close.
Yeah, and also when Song goes back into to GT, is not going to have to go into the right side at all. So that might at least be something that's positive for Song right now.
This is gonna be interesting. I cannot wait to see what pans out here.
Yeah, it's definitely a big gamble to check a part of GT and then mirroring out, and it's definitely a gamble that can pay off. It's just unfortunate for Song that it won't pay off this time.
Well, and at this point, you have to start wondering, okay, my opponent hasn't done yet either. So, maybe I'm missing something. And maybe he's missing something.
Yeah, he might be metagaming himself out of going back to GT. He's got to be frustrated.
Oh, you know it.
So the blue cane is in Swamp. And Pokedude just got his 7 crystals and will probably head up Death Mountain.
Well, if he does, like I said, that suddenly this race got very interesting. As if it wasn't interesting already.
Yeah, and hopefully Song decides to go to GT after this, because there's still a possibility that Song's going for Thieves Town as well.
Oh my goodness, you're absolutely right. I wonder if Pokedude is... What's he doing?
Pokedude might go for the Fat Fairy.
There's one chest he can access in Aga Tower. I don't know if he did that.
Yeah, I think when TRANQ, when you went into Aga Tower, that was the first time we saw anything of that tower.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah, that one seemed like a fairly quick check with Fat Fairy with the mirror.
Let's see. Song is going to be going. Oh, I'm gonna get
He's
some.
gonna shake that mushroom.
Oh yeah, no, that mushroom first.
And it's just a piece of heart, but can at least fill up on some potions.
All right, let's see what he does now. Oh no, he's going to Thieves Town. Oh no.
Yeah, and Pokedude is going up Death Mountain.
Uh-oh.
And I think that once you leave Ganon's Tower, it's more likely that you check everything else before you're going back again.
Oh no.
Because you took that gamble for a reason.
Yeah, this is a heartbreaker. I mean, bear in mind, depending on Pokedude's execution in GT, I mean, Song might still be able to be in this, but I don't know.
I do hope they someday come out with a mode that includes hints like Zelda 1 that could help alleviate a lot of this that's happening right now. But
A good practice mod, even just to say, like something like a good tutorial mod or a trainer or something like that. I mean, you have the LTTP practice hack, but that doesn't always. I mean, it's a little bit harder to apply that stuff to rando.
Oh yeah, I meant like the I don't know. In Zelda 1, you can purchase hints from the shops, right? That they show you where items are. I would love to see something like that for Zelda 3, so you could eliminate the hunt for one item for 50 minutes. But I don't know how the community would feel about that.
Interesting. So now all eyes on pokedude14. We'll have to see how he plays Ganon's Tower. I know we've said it before, but especially for TRANQ, Troop, and Songleaves, pokedude14, guys in chat, give these forerunners a follow, because like I said, they're putting themselves out there for our entertainment. So absolutely give every single one of these a follow.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if I said it before, but TRANQ and Troupster, GG to you. This was a very good race from both of you.
Thanks, man. GG, TRANQ.
No, thank you. Good race, Troop.
Now, that being said, you boys are more than welcome to sit here and help us commentate this last race.
I'm actually thinking about jumping off here, but I appreciate the offer.
Oh, anytime. Again, man, like I said, very well played, both of you.
Thanks, and thanks for all your work and the commentating. I really appreciate it. It's fun to go back and watch. Thank you.
Well, I hope we gave a good show for you guys to go back and rewatch.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Anything is great.
No, definitely looking forward to rewatch this VOD to see what routing differences happened, given how open the seed was so early on.
It was a good one to watch. It was a very good one to watch.
So Songleaves is about to finish up Feast Town, and I do believe that the only thing left to do after this is going back into GT.
Yeah, but now pokedude's gonna have the lead on him. I mean, he's got the Swamp Palace small key, but I mean, it's possible he could bail out and try to go check Swamp Palace. I just don't think he's gonna do it.
Yeah, and I didn't think about this before, but this makes it even more heartbreaking that Songleaves decided to mirror out in GT one room before the big key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just right here.
So, pokedude did find the big key, right?
The
Oh no,
nope, he's
never
not
mind,
there
never
yet.
mind.
He's not quite there yet. It's in the
Yeah,
random
right.
room.
That was the big key of Feast Town he found.
Yep, here very shortly he's going to be finding that key, and then he's going to start his ascent through the tower.
Yeah, and the song is almost back in GT again.
It's guys, this race is closer than you think, though. I mean, there's not that much time separating these guys.
Oh, Song is going for Spike key first.
Oh, and look, the riot shield in the chest right next door.
Yeah, that does actually have some value on your way up against those mimics.
Oh yeah, you can just stare a red mimic in the face and be like, yeah, go ahead, shoot all day, I got this. And Babalukan asking if these are connected to the same tourney on the speed gaming channels. Yes, there are just so many matches going on in the Swiss right now that we cannot support it on just 4 channels. I mean, we have had a ton of races tonight.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere. It's at least 100 races per week. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is. We have a lot of Keysanity action coming your guys' way. We're going to have quite a bit tomorrow, too. Oh, no. Song didn't check the right side of Desert Palace either, did he?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is getting harder and harder to catch up now.
But it's like you said, you bail out of GT once, you don't want to have to bail out of GT a second time. I understand, but oh no.
Yeah, and in another seed, this could have been the play that won Songleaves the match.
I mean, it's not over yet, but Pokedude, he has a lead right now for sure. So, is there any other places Song can check, or has he checked everything outside of GT?
He's taking out the flute, so looks like it. Did he skip a chest and pod?
Looks like it. Yeah, I mean, and it's easy for us to say that, you know, to call it up here because we know where everything is. But, you know, I can't fault Song at this point. He's, you know, like I said, you definitely don't want to triple dip Ganon's tower. I mean, you just don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard decisions to make in a randomizer game.
Oh yes.
And having those 6 small keys to pod just opening up the middle door right away to say sometime.
Might as well at this point. Pokedude gonna do the old powder and net here to get another safety fairy.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have fairies against Ganon, because you don't want to restart that fight.
Nope.
And Song is floating to 1, so hopefully we see the Ganon's tower play again now.
No, I think he's pretty much exhausted his options otherwise. So now what separates Song and Pokedude is Song has got to go left side immediately to the rando room.
Yeah, and the only thing that's left in the right side is the tile room, so...
And then in the rear, you still got Ice Armos and Bob's chest. Other than that, that's it. That's the only locations left.
So this is looking to almost be 100% safe by Song.
Almost.
And Pokedude just waiting out that for the door to close so he doesn't despawn everything in Ganon's tower.
Absolutely. You do not want to do that because then you're going to lose so much time. And I have to wonder if Pokedude is starting to wonder, you know, am I still very far behind or do I have a chance at this?
Yeah, I mean, it never feels good when the last place you can check is where the progression is.
Mm-hmm.
And Pokedude is checking a few more chests on the way up, hoping most likely to find the Butter Sword.
Well, butter would be really nice to have. Not required by any means, but definitely would be nice to have.
Just finding 10 arrows, but already have more than enough.
Well, you gotta put some in some of those in Ganon's head, right?
Yeah, taking a fall. That's unfortunate. And Song is going for the tile room play. And Song is using the cape and also holding the wall, and it's actually a minor glitch there that makes it that the magic doesn't drain when you do it.
Mm-hmm. Also keeps you from where you don't have to worry about taking the tile to the back.
Yeah, and you don't have to watch out for the wall master as well.
I think Song finally knows where the tracks are. He's heading that away. Meanwhile, Pokedude pulling up to Aga 2. Let's see how he does here. I would imagine Pokedude's probably got nerves percolating right now because, again, his opponent has not done yet.
Yeah, I would not blame him. I know that that's something that I wasn't prepared for playing in this tournament, that every time I go into Ganon's tower, it's so nerve-wracking.
Gets a double there, I believe, though. That's a pretty good shot. And another double. Pokedude finishes off Aga 2. Gonna be heading down to the Big Pig. And Songleaves going to be checking these chests here. Interesting that Pokedude has the fairy bottle selected as an item. Gonna go for the cape here, I believe, and gonna use that to his advantage. Hopefully be able to breeze through phase 2 here.
Yeah, the cape is really useful in phase 2. You don't have to worry about the fire bats.
And Song picking up his big key, finally gonna be making that charge up Ganon's tower. Pokedude going to have to be kind of careful here, though, because you really don't want to fall off at this point. I hope I didn't curse him with commentator's curse, but it's something you got to watch out for, especially with nerves going.
Yeah, I mean, the more nervous you are, the easier it becomes to just make a single mistake.
Gets Torch Glitch.
Yeah, the torch glitch is definitely nice to have, and we're still gonna watch out for these fire bats.
Yep. And you do not want to take a hit from one of those and have a direct to it, because you'll get knocked back quite a bit.
Yeah, they can kind of knock you in some weird direction sometimes.
Opting to use a blue potion here, wanting to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Oof,
Gonna have to be careful. Gonna have to be careful.
Oof, that was so close.
Wow.
Gets a double and just one more hit.
Oh no, there he goes. One
There
more.
it is.
And pokedude14 pulling off the win in this matchup. Congratulations to him.
Yeah,
Phew.
definitely GG to Pokedude. Let's see, he's finished with a time of 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 27 seconds. GG Pokedude.
Wow. Whew. Let's get that boy in here for an interview, and I'm going to ask him why he has to scare us like that and nearly fall off the ledge.
Yeah, and Songleaves is making good progress up the tower, getting a 0 cycle on Lemolas. So at the very least, Songleaf is not going to finish too far behind.
No, won't be too far behind. Just be right on his heels. Still waiting to see if we can get Pokedude in here for an interview.
So it looks like Pokedude will be joining us in Discord very soon.
Meanwhile, while we're waiting for him to join us, let's watch Song making that final charge up Ganon's tower. Again, very hot on the heels, and I would be interested to see the completion rate. Because, again, considering the near 100%ing on this seed, still an excellent time.
Yeah, and also creds to finishing this up.
Absolutely.
After realizing where that big key was. Still going for it, that's strong.
Yes, I admire anybody that doesn't give up and fights it out to the finish. A lot of respect to Songleaves here.
And Sketchfile makes an interesting observation in chat that Buttersword basically had to be behind the ice armors.
Yep, either that or Bob's chest, one of the two. And it looks like Songleaves pulling up to Aga 2 now. All right, we have pokedude14 joining us. Hey, good game, dude. Very well played.
Thank you.
How you feeling after that one?
My heart's still racing a bit.
Yeah, what were you thinking nearly falling off the ledge in the Ganon fight? Why you gotta scare us like that?
Hey, gotta have some action. I can't let the Ganon fight get boring.
Boring it most certainly wasn't. Like I said, you about made our heart jump out of our chest when you did that. But still, nice job completing this. How about that Ganon's Tower Big Key?
Yeah. When I went in and Ganon's Tower was really the only thing available at that time, I was like, I may as well basically just treat this like a vanilla rando, and if it ain't in Ganon's, then the progression will show up somewhere in Ganon's.
Well, ended up being the right play on the left side, finding the key. That definitely that made the difference right there. Unfortunately, your opponent mirrored out of GT before finding the big key. He found the swamp key and thought that maybe it was in the Swamp Palace. So that's why Song is still finishing up right now. But I mean, one of those things that just happens in rando.
Yep, that it is.
So now that's going to put you at 1-1 going into round 3 of the Swiss. How you feeling going into round 3?
Honestly, surprised, because this is honestly the first race where I've actually won. Pretty much ever.
Any key takeaways you're going to take going into round 3, you think?
Don't really know. Don't really know at the moment.
Yeah, and Songleaves is almost done at Ganon as well, and getting the torch glitch as well with the fire rod. And yeah, by the way, very well played, pokedude. GG to the win.
Thank you.
And looks like Songleaves giving the coup d'etat to the big pig. He's going to be finishing up right about the 248 mark.
No, I didn't notice until someone pointed out in chat, but I had forgotten to stop my timer.
It's all right. It happens, man. We've all done that.
Wonder
see if
where
we can-
butter was.
We were thinking it's behind the Ice Armos or Bob's chest, one of the two. We're going to see if we
Yeah,
get...
because that's basically the only chest that I think Songleaves didn't check.
So we're going to real quick try to pull Song in for an interview, get his thoughts before wrapping up. So give us just a second while we get him in.
Okay.
But yeah, pokedude, any final thoughts on that seed or any final thoughts at all?
Well, it was a lot better than what I had in round 1. As there, silvers were at library, boots were at bat, and powder was in Ganon's tower. And I not really very good with silverless.
Well, again, congratulations to you, man. Like I said, 1-1 going into round 3. Congratulations very much on your victory here.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
All right, we have Songleaves going to be joining us here just in a second. Songleaves, it's a good game, man.
Yeah, GG.
I think your mic is muted.
Can't wait to watch the VOD and see how well everyone else did.
Yeah, it was definitely 2 very interesting races.
Hey, can you hear me now?
There
we can
you
hear
are,
you.
Song.
Hello.
So GG Song, and a bit unfortunate on the end there. What are your thoughts about this race?
Okay, did other people do Aga for the big key before going to Ganon's castle?
No, unfortunately you were the only one who did.
Okay. Because I was just in Ganon's castle, and I forgot I didn't have the big key, and then I paused, I saw that I had all big keys but 2, and I'm like, well, I should just go to Aga. Aga's got a 50% chance, and then it all went downhill from there.
Yeah, it was definitely a gamble worth taking, but it just didn't pay off this time.
Yeah.
I mean, big key to the side. How did you feel about this seed as you were running through it? I mean, how do you feel about your routing and your execution, and those sorts of things? I mean, how did you feel throughout this seed?
Which was unfortunate. I don't normally die too often. I took a lot of gambles that didn't pay off by going into Yar. I really should have gone to Thieves earlier. That Timbered Sword would have been really nice, but I wasn't feeling Thieves.
Yeah, so when you found that big key to the swamp, was it your thought was like just because I guess you didn't want to take the risk of triple dipping Ganon's Tower.
So yeah, pretty much. I should have I can't believe I went to Palace of Darkness Tower. I just didn't want to believe that it was in Ganon's Tower, and basically full cleared everything else. Your location. Full run.
Yeah, and you were first one into Ice Palace. That was a really valuable dungeon for being a pendant.
Like early Ice Palace, I know everybody hates it, so I was really happy when they had that decision.
I personally couldn't. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, Poke, go ahead, please.
I just another thought on the seed. Can't believe how much stuff we got in Kakariko.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the very start of the game was just loaded with value. We had boots and flute and...
Oh yeah, the Blind's Hut was just an extremely explosive start.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very, very front-loaded seed. Now, Song, now you'll be going to 0 and 2, but now going into round 3, how are you feeling going into the third round of Swiss? Like, what's your game plan for next week?
So this is my second race that I've been in overall, and this is my 12th seed that I've ever played. I'm still growing as a player by a lot, so I need to learn. In particular, I need to practice the boss. A whole lot of things I could do. I don't know.
Yeah, and for this being the 12th time and almost 100%ing the seed under 3 hours, that's definitely impressive.
Absolutely. That. I certainly hope you're not discouraged, because that's, for what you did, that is an amazing time. And like I said, I had no idea this was only your 12th seed you'd ever run. So that, again, my hat's off to you. My respect to you for being in this tournament, because that's amazing. Your time is very good, especially given what you went through. So I certainly hope you're not discouraged. I certainly hope you find a way to turn it around in week 3, and I'll definitely be rooting for you going forward.
Thank you very much. My main thing is I just wanted to just 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to be sub 3 hour, and I wanted to be at least somewhat competitive. I just didn't want to, just bore viewers and just be running around having no idea what I'm doing and dying all the time. So I feel really good about how this tournament's been going.
Yeah, and something I would definitely recommend to both of you is to rewatch the VOD and see how you route things compared to other people and see what paid off and didn't. Of course, that can change depending on the seed, but it's still interesting to see how other people play as well.
So far, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
People to look at instead of all different routes that people...
Well, unfortunately, we are going to have to wrap up here. But Song, before we go, any final thoughts out of you, man? I mean, any last comments, last words, anything at all?
My brain is too twisted by this seed. I just can't think of anything to close up to say. So just GG.
It was a rough one. It was rough. It was rough. Even watching it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a trolley scene. So, again, my respects to you, everybody in chat. Give these 4 people a follow. They absolutely deserve it. Song, I can tell you right now, you're definitely getting a follow out of me. A lot of respect to you for what you're doing. So, good game again to you, man. And like I said, chat, give all 4 of these guys a follow because they absolutely deserve it.
Yeah, for sure. And also big thanks to our trackers today, Dark Falls and
The Dark Falls and Melee Wizard. And of course, shout outs to my co-commentator, Walther 4. Walt definitely had a fun job commentating this seed right alongside you. Any last words out of you?
Not really. Thanks to everyone involving in this tournament, everyone running it, and to everyone making this possible. There's so much good randomizer right now, so just follow all the channels if you like randomizer.
Absolutely. Remember, because the tournament is so big, we have it's taking about 8 channels to fully support it. We have Speed Gaming Networks 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll have Link to the Past Randomizer 1 and 2. I believe there will be a 3rd one out there as well. And then we have Randomizer Mania 1 and 2. So yeah, we have a lot of channels. I definitely recommend you all follow the schedule because we're going to have a lot of entertaining matches coming up. That being said, it's time for me and my fellow commentator to get out of here. Any last words out of you, Walt?
No. Except I have to say thank you to you as well, Jaxus. It's a blast commentating with you.
Well, I'm glad that I've got people that are fun to commentate with and work with, good runners to follow, good chat to follow. I mean, I'm truly thankful for everything that I have a chance to be a part of. It's a real honor for me. So that being said, time to take the Thors in your straitjacket. Let's get out of the nut house. This is Jaxus. I will see you all down the road. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.